marks 1 year since a rare, violent EF4 tornado tracked through fields near Dalton, Minnesota. On July 8, 2020, this tornado spawned from an explosive supercell that developed near a triple point around 5 p.m. It was a slow-moving tornado with wind speeds up to 170 miles per hour, remaining on the ground for 9 miles over the span of 31 minutes. While it mostly just scarred the fields, it did destroy a machine shop and a home. Unfortunately, there were 2 injuries and 1 fatality. Storm spotters and chasers provided timely reports to the National Weather Service, which allowed effective tornado warnings to be issued for local residents. This video is what I experienced on July 8, 2020. This was one of the most memorable chase days of my 20 years documenting severe weather. At the end of this video, I have included a review of the statistics on this tornado, some forecasting information from a chaser's perspective, as well as some insights about decisions made and lessons learned on this chase. So stay tuned after the action if you want to learn more about this historic event. We gotta report this. Who do we call? Do you have the number, Brad?
Yeah, I'll call him.
I don't have the number.
We gotta figure out where we are.
Just say. Wow, that is a nice funnel.
Hi, this is Brad Nelson. I'm a meteorologist and storm chaser between Fergus Falls and Dalton, Minnesota right now. And there's a pretty stout funnel that came down about halfway to the ground. It looks like it's lifting back up now, but I just wanted to make sure I call. I didn't see anything touch down, but there's a pronounced lowering.
It was close.
It was close, but there's a nice bowl-shaped funnel now. I want to make sure I record it. We're a little far away to see if it's rotating, but it was definitely
a funnel.
It was definitely a funnel halfway to the end. Oh, of course.
It's starting to come down again.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We're gonna have to keep up with it.
Yep, I know. We can. We just keep going. We go?
I know. That's because we're on the north side. Yeah, we need to go.
Ready?
Okay. second so we can take a couple
I
photos.
think we gotta get close, Mel.
Can I just take one photo? And then I'll keep going, I promise.
Perfect.
That thing is maintaining. Look at that.
Look at that, Mel. Get close here.
Holy cow. All right, we gotta get out of this. Holy cow, this is amazing.
This is amazing.
Look at that. Look at that tornado. That is, oh my God, we're right on it. Ah! Look at
Look at that thing. I know.
Oh, hail.
Oh, it's down, I think.
Okay, I need my camera to focus.
Oh, look at that.
Can we pull over now? Please, I gotta get it. We gotta get this.
Yeah. Holy crap,
gotta
look
get
at this
this.
thing. Point the camera right into it.
Oh yeah, yep. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Free cloud. Okay. Okay. Oh, nice free cloud. Shit. Shit. Okay. I'll take a picture of my camera and I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Go stand over there. Just, oh, here, I'll back up. Hang on, stay there. Let's see one more. Oh, it's coming down even more. All right, now you take a picture of me.
Yep.
Oh, crap. Ah.
Camera. I know.
I'm like so adrenaline pumped right now. Holy shit. Look at that debris right in front of us. Debris. Oh, I should have my GoPro on. All right, we're gonna get up close.
Yep, get up close.
And then stop.
Oh my goodness. Yep.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, get right up there. Oh, look at, oh, it hit something. Shoot.
Now we gotta pull over.
Yep.
Oh, look, this road right here. Are we gonna be safe? We're gonna be safe here?
I don't know.
Yeah, let's do it right here. Right here, huh?
Yep.
Right here. Tripods.
Go up a little bit. Go up.
Okay. Okay. Just for a minute, we gotta get some of this
Yep.
footage right here. The sun's
Oh,
coming out.
Yep, yep, yep.
I can smell it. Hang on, hang on. I'm gonna go right in the road here. Tornado. Where are we? South east of Fergus Falls still. Really solid tornado. Get it, Brad.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of...
Take 120.
Can you point us? Oh, go this road, right up here. There's a road to the left.
17 St. Olaf.
Let me just get one picture. Okay. Alright. You ready?
Yep. Wait for him to get around us.
Does this road you think goes
I don't know, but let's... At this point, does it matter? That, the road's blocked up there.
Highway 117.
Oh my God.
Can we stop here for
Mhm.
a minute? Get a little bit of footage? There's a rainbow.
Let's try to get up through here.
A little bit. Right here, just like this. Just gonna hold it.
Get up there. here. Oh, oh, shit, sorry. Let him go, let him go, let him go.
Whipping out, whipping out, whipping out the tripod. For 2020, Minnesota cut through. Yeah, I know. Hopefully.
Okay, good. to it? Like, like driving right up, drove right up to it right after birth. I mean, it was just awesome.
We saw the first funnel come down. We called it in and reported it. Or Brad did.
We'll see you up the next one.
I know, look at that. So today we will be talking about that large EF4 long track tornado that happened in Ashby, or also some refer to it as Dalton, Minnesota, because it was actually right in between Ashby and Dalton. This was a day in which the forecast didn't look super exciting or super promising for tornadoes. However, this significant tornado developed and was on the ground for quite a while. So it's a really interesting case to take a look at and learn what we can from what actually happened that day. This was the damage path, the official survey from the National Weather Service of the tornado that passed between Dalton and Ashby, Minnesota. This tornado was on the ground for 9 miles and 31 minutes from 5:08 p.m. until 5:39 p.m. And at its strongest point, it was rated an EF4 tornado with winds up to about 170 miles per hour. And at the max width, it was only 650 yards, what we'd call a drill bit tornado much of the time. Just really strong wind speeds, but in a real narrow vortex. So sometimes we call that, in the chasing world, a drill bit tornado. Unfortunately, there was one person who was killed in this tornado and 2 injuries. It did hit a machine shop, and there were 2 people actually watching it come towards them, and they didn't really realize it was coming right towards them until it was almost on top of them, and then they each chose a different place to take shelter. One person went inside the machine shop, the other person went underneath the tractor. And unfortunately, the one person was killed who went under the tractor. So that's kind of a reminder for many of us, even as a chaser, sometimes we can get mesmerized by that tornado and, taking pictures of it, recording it while it's coming straight at us, and not really remember how dangerous it can be. Tornadoes can accelerate quickly. So it's always good to be more aware and be sure you get out of the path or take appropriate shelter before it's too late. Yeah, now we're gonna go ahead and take a look at just some of the parameters and some of the things that we look at as chasers on the day we're chasing. Day 1 means the day of the chase, basically. This is the day. And in the morning, well, actually, this is by 11:30 already, 16:30Z, they upgraded the risk to an enhanced risk for severe weather. Storm Prediction Center did, down in Nebraska. So if you just looked at that, you would think you might want to chase in Nebraska. However, that enhanced risk was more for hail and strong winds. As you can see, they now had a 5% probability of tornadoes in Minnesota, but more to central and eastern Minnesota. And where we saw this tornado by Dalton and Ashby actually was just outside the 2% graphic. So you don't want to just go right to the middle of these graphics when you see a 5%. You don't want to go sit in the middle waiting for tornadoes, because that's not necessarily where you should be. This was at 2 p.m. I looked at the surface obs. I distinctly remember this, and I said, it looks almost like a low right there, because there's a little bit of a circulation, if you can see in the wind barbs here. Sure enough, there was a mesolow developing. You usually have more shear, more rotation in your storms that are near a low pressure system. But this was right at 4 o'clock, right before the storm developed. That low was right near Fergus Falls. It's a triple point, actually. We've got the warm front and the cold front coming off that low. It's always fun to look at the graphics that the Storm Prediction Center puts out when they issue their mesoscale discussion, because they are the experts. They do this 24 hours a day, and they are really good at it. I like to think I'm pretty good myself, but it's always, they're sitting there doing this all day long, looking at data, and are very experienced. So I was happy to see, yes, there is a low they're indicating here. And as you can see, from their analysis, their very detailed analysis, that outflow boundary warm front, as they're calling it, a modifying outflow boundary and warm advection zone, was real wavy looking, not your typical, just real obvious warm front. And surface trough is coming in. They've got a lot of information here at different levels in the atmosphere. But they've issued this mesoscale discussion, and as Brad and I were moving out in that direction, we're like, oh boy, we do have to get west. I mean, these things are really coming together, and if storms fire a little earlier, we want to be there. It's important to be there for initiation, especially on a day like this. oftentimes it's that first storm that becomes the most interesting. And they ended up issuing a severe weather watch at 4 p.m. They never did issue a tornado watch. Again, that's why this is kind of an interesting day to look at, because there was no tornado watch, and yet we had this really significant tornado develop. Here's a nice satellite loop from NOAA. So we could see on satellite, actually at this point, Brad and I were just getting into Fergus Falls right when we saw that tower go up on satellite. So at 4:32 is when we were at the gas station. Good thing we didn't stop for a sit-down lunch on this day. When we got to the gas station, we did not see anything yet showing up on satellite. The best you can do is look at the sky. What do you see in the sky? Because with satellite, you've got some delay. With radar, you even have a few minute delay. So we pulled up to the gas station. Brad ran in to get some pizza, and I said, I think after we get some gas and some food and go to the bathroom, we're gonna see something start to go up. And sure enough, we looked at satellite and saw that tower popping. And I'm like, that's just right, just south of us. But we couldn't see it because the building was in our way. So as soon as we moved away from the building, there it is, that nice updraft. As you can see, there's so much moisture in the air this day. We have some other low-level clouds, and our view is not crystal clear, but you can clearly see this nice, really good-looking, robust updraft. We knew that was it. That's the storm we have to get to. And luckily, we were only like 5 miles away from it. And on radar, this is all it looked like. This is, again, that composite radar image. There's a tiny little green yellow dot on radar at 4:25 p.m. And this is an interesting image to look at because we can see where the radar sites are. These blue, returns here are radar sites. So this storm actually popped up in what you call a radar hole. There weren't any radar sites very close to this storm. So it was harder for the National Weather Service, for meteorologists to be able to read what is actually happening with that storm just based on radar. Since it was so far away, it's harder to see the low levels in that storm. Because of that, initial reports and ongoing reports from the storm, from chasers as well as spotters out there, were really critical for the National Weather Service to know what was happening and be able to issue those early warnings. And they did a good job. They really got the warnings out because this storm went up and that tornado came down like within 45 minutes. It was fast. It all happened really quickly. The initial tornado touched down again at 5:08 p.m., not long after we saw that tower go up. Just taking a look here at a couple of the radar images from the day. And again, it wasn't too close to radar, but we can still see the couplet on the velocity. Here you can see it's right again between Ashby and Dalton. So people will argue, was it the Ashby or the Dalton tornado? All right, and this is what happened. We had that tornado here where we were near Fergus Falls, Dalton, Ashby area. One more tornado further east. There actually was someone locally who had a picture of that. And then, as you can see, there were a few tornado reports out here in Nebraska. From my understanding, they appeared to be more of a landspout type tornado. All right, so we're just going to go over a summary of some of the key factors from this day. That outflow boundary, which enhanced that low-level shear, created a better environment for tornado development. Those winds were more backed as a result of the outflow boundary. It creates a little more lift, and it created more of that triple point with that warm front type of setup instead of just a cold front with more linear storms. The atmosphere was able to recover better than we expected. So, I mean, there are a lot of reasons why this storm developed and that tornado formed. These are a couple of those key factors that did come together on a day when previously, even just the day before, we didn't see this coming. We didn't know that that amazing alpha boundary would set up perfectly. We didn't know that the morning convection would clear out and that mesolow would be there. It was really, as someone pointed out, it was I guess this is one of Chuck Doswell's quotes along with somebody else. It was a happy little mesoscale accident. Exactly. So yeah, and honestly, a lot of chase days can be this way. A lot of severe weather days can be similar in that First of all, it can look like not that big of a setup and turn out to be something like this, a lifetime tornado, like the most incredible tornado you might see in your entire career of chasing. Or it might look like a really big days that they sometimes call the cap. It's boom or bust. It could be an incredible single supercell moving across the plane, producing more or multiple tornadoes. But if that cap doesn't break, if those upper levels are too warm and we've got that inversion and nothing comes in to cool off, you might not get anything until after dark and then just a lot of lightning. So it can go either way, really. That's why you just got to get out there. And if you want to see storms, if you want to chase, or if you want to do some spotting, it's important to just get out there every chance you get and learn from each time you're there, whether it's a great day like this or if it's a bust. Believe me, I have my share of busts as well. Yep. And as I mentioned earlier, one of the lessons I learned on this day was do not sit down for a long lunch. Not until you're at your target anyway. Because if we did that, we would have missed at least part of that tornado, maybe the entire thing. And I know there are chasers who, like I said, some showed up a little bit late. They showed up right at the end. And that is so frustrating on a storm like this. So yeah, get to your target early. And that target might shift and change as the day moves on. You might have to drive a little bit further east or west, north or south. Just keeping an eye on that data, that continual updates of those surface observations, watching satellite. If you're out there chasing or spotting, remember those reports to the National Weather Service can be very critical, like on this day, because the storm was so far from a radar site. It was hard to really analyze the radar based on where that storm was located. Call in those reports when you see something, even if you're not completely positive. It's always good for them to know what you are looking at. As far, you can take a Skywarn class if you're not familiar with what you should be calling in. But in this day, calling in those funnels was really important so they could get that tornado warning issued quickly. All right, so as far as positioning, while I was chasing this storm with Brad, it's always interesting how we end up positioning on storms. Oftentimes we want to be on the south, somewhat east side, depending on the motion of the storm. You don't want to be directly in the path of the potential tornado or the mesocyclone, but you do want a good view of it. So oftentimes on the backside, you've got rain wrapping around and you're not able to see into that mesocyclone. In this case, Brad and I were coming in from the north, and since that storm was moving northeast, we didn't see anything happening yet, so we stopped for a few minutes to take a look and wait for it to just move closer to us. Why do we need to keep driving if it's moving our direction? So that's always a good time to stop and take some pictures. And you can just see here, there's kind of a rounded, it doesn't look like a classic mothership supercell. Again, there was so much moisture in the air, low levels at least. Things weren't super clear, but you can see there's a nice wall cloud. This is to our south, so we're looking south from the north. And I actually posted a picture, and some other chasers recognized right away, wow, that's really got a nice bowl shape to it. I guess it does, but at first it didn't really stand out to me like the best looking wall cloud, but it's there. Like right away, we've got this nice wall cloud developing. Oh, all right, I've got a little slideshow. So shortly after, really quickly, a funnel started to develop. And this was definitely, sometimes you can't tell if it's a funnel or if it's a little bit of a scud finger type thing. But in this case, it really looked like a funnel. We weren't quite close enough yet to see the rotation. So sometimes as chasers or spotters, we get hesitant to report it to the National Weather Service because we don't know for sure if there's rotation, if we can't see it. But the way that this looks, I mean, I made sure we called it in. Brad actually called it in and reported a funnel halfway to the ground, even though we were not able to confirm rotation. But there were other people who were calling it in too, which was great. As we continued to watch, we ended up, driving a little closer because we realized it was moving so slow. Oftentimes storms are moving a little too quickly and you don't have much time to stop because your road doesn't follow the storm exactly as it's moving. So we did drive a little more south, got a little bit better positioning under that mesocyclone. And a tornado came down. Clearly, it's on the ground at this point, and there's actually debris. And this, so I like this shot because it's me with an umbrella, and this was a picture Brad took, photo by Brad Nelson, which is a really cool shot, just that nice action shot with the rain started coming in. Because that's why also we like to be on the south side, because then we don't have to deal with the rain, but we were still on the north side. So it was still coming in our direction, but we did feel that it was not going to come directly at us based on our position. However, the rain started to move in and obscure the view and just get my camera wet and all that stuff. But I didn't want to move because we had this incredible tornado right in front of us. Finally, when the rain got so heavy, we're like, okay, we got to reposition. So we got a little closer. My throat's getting dry. And this is like just an amazing view of the tornado, I have to say. That debris cloud, oh my gosh, I honestly have never seen anything like it in my 20 years of chasing storms. So this was like an unreal shot, and it was moving so slowly. We just stood there for it seemed like several minutes. I don't know how long we were actually right in that position, but we had time to just watch it. We had to get in our car and keep following it. There were some chasers who got a lot closer than we did at this point, and they have some incredible footage, like Michael Martz and even Scott Peak. I know there's some great footage out there. Tanner has some amazing footage as well. Mm-hmm. So as we got behind this tornado, we were following it, and we were no longer in the rain. We're in a better position, and the sun was shining. It was just incredible. And at this point, the tornado, it appears to just be out in the field, which was good. You know, that's how we prefer to see it, not hitting a city. This was the robot phase right here, which I just love. It's just beautiful, that clear, translucent looking vortex. And here's a wider view from the GoPro, which is fun. It's so much fun to be able to have both views, having the GoPro and also camcorder zoomed in a little bit right on the tornado. But I love, this has always been one of my favorite things to watch, are time lapse of cumulonimbus clouds. It's just been so fun to walk through this data and take a look at the day and learn what we can from it. And I hope that you all learned something too, and at least got a nice overview of what happened that day. One important thing is to be able to develop pattern recognition skills. So as we see similar days in the future, we can say, oh, that reminds me of this day. And then you can start to make some decisions based on that pattern recognition, like, oh, that happened this day. Maybe it'll happen again the same way. We'll talk to you soon.